What's up, guys? Before we get started on today's video, just wanted to send a special shout out to Uber Lady Charlotte. We love you and we miss you, and we can't wait to see you out doing what you love to do.
Get better soon.
What's up, guys? This is Corey, also known as QC Rideshare, just hitting you with another one. And I'm going to preface this video by first stating my track record on some things, because I think that's important to what I'm about to discuss. I like to think of myself as an extremely optimistic person. I've always had this mantra that if you tell me that the sky is purple, I will believe you 100% until I see that the sky is anything but purple, because I just don't think the negative of people or companies or intentions. And so with that said, let's get into this one. So as you can see, the title of this video is the Uberization of Takl. And this is where I'm talking about, and it's none of the good, it's all the bad. So as you know, I've been a huge supporter of Takl. I think I've been 100% in their corner. I think they haven't taken too many false steps, and now I'm starting to, and recently I had a situation, and it's starting to make me think that maybe I was being deceived, or maybe I was being too naive in my estimations of this company. So where I'm coming from is, so Takl, when you put a job in as a customer with Takl, you have before that job is approved, Takl reviews it. And so let's talk about the review process. So usually the review process is about 5 to 10 minutes before it goes live on the website. And I haven't quite figured out what that review process actually does. As you already know, I do a lot of jobs. I do a lot of all kinds of jobs, but I don't see a job that's too small. And so if I'm doing a mowing job and the customer puts in that their property is a quarter acre and less than a quarter acre, and that their grass is less than 6 inches, when I get there, the last thing I want to have a conversation with the customer about is that their property is close to an acre and that they have over 6 inches of grass. Because how is that being reviewed by anybody? How is that being looked at? And then if for the provider side, that's the first thing. So you got to have that uncomfortable conversation with the customer of, I'm going to put this back through the right way, and the only way I'm going to do this job is if you actually agree to what I am saying that your property is. The second thing that I don't like is, and I had this recently, so I did a mow job, the customer wasn't home, and which I haven't had a problem with, but I'm starting to see that really you should never do any of these jobs without the customer home, because the customer's final feedback gives you your real release from the job. And if you're getting feedback from the customer days later or weeks later, or even that later on that day, and that's going directly to Takl, it impedes your opportunity to resolve the issue right there. So as a side note, I would never do a job again without the customer being there, because it's not good business. Because if you got to go back another day, that's a time that you're going back to somebody's house, you're not making any more money, and there's really no gain for you as the provider. But let's just say, let's say that I did the job, and the customer said, well, he missed the area where he used the weed whacker to weed whack, and there was some grass on that stayed on the sidewalk. Fine, I'll go back and fix it. I don't have a problem with doing that if somebody feels that way. But when I went in to try to go into my provider account, my account was suspended. And I contacted Takl, and they said, well, you should have received an email. I said, no, I didn't receive an email because I just checked my provider account an hour ago and it worked. And I haven't got an email in the last hour. And so then they said, oh, well, we'll resend it. So they sent me the email essentially saying that the customer didn't said that I missed the area of weed eating. Okay, that's a 2-minute fix. They said that you didn't blow enough of the grass off the sidewalk. Okay, there was a huge storm in Charlotte last night, but if they want me to fix that, that's fine. Why did you suspend my account when clearly these are issues that can easily be resolved. No answer. Okay, so what do you want me to do? I can either go out there and I can fix it. I don't have a problem with that. But you know what? Even better, give them the money back. Charge me back for it. I don't care. Because the reality is there's too many of these jobs now that I'm seeing where Takl is sending the customer the wrong message. They're saying that the providers are essentially Uber drivers. Where basically, if you don't like it, no matter what you say, we're going to charge it onto the provider. We're not going to reach, even Uber even has a sense of saying, before we do anything adverse, let's reach out to the driver to get a response from them before they go ahead and suspend somebody's ability to make money. And if Takl, and I say this about all these companies, the minute you launch and you encourage people to put their financial stake on you, you take that responsibility, then you better be doing the right thing. And anytime you're telling me that if a customer who got their lawn mowed sees grass on their driveway or walkway can then say, oh, I see grass, and then that's going to suspend that person's ability to make money, then you're not ready to be a company requesting providers. Because you are asking somebody to not make money this other way that they may have been making money and being successful, but to make money by your way. And so I got frustrated with that. And, you know, as you already know, I'm a multi-platform person. I have zero loyalties to any platform. And the reason why I have zero loyalties to any platform is because they have zero loyalties to me. And like I said, I will believe that you have all the best intentions until you show me something different. Takl, if you are suspending providers' accounts because of grass on somebody's driveway without reaching out to them, without even reaching out to the provider to say, hey, did this happen? What was the situation that happened around this? What are you doing? You are not fit to be operating a business that's asking people to put their financial trust in you. And this is a lesson that Uber already, like I said, Uber at least reaches out to you. Lyft at least reaches out to you. Shipped, they'll go ahead and tell you, hey, you know, you got your customer the wrong product or whatever. There was an issue. But to sit there and suspend somebody's account for something where you're talking about the job was $100 job and you're asking them to go back and spend 5 minutes blowing some grass somewhere, or they missed the weed whacking area, which would be 2 minutes. And you're saying that the hour or so forth job that they did was void, and all the jobs that they've ever done are void because this one person said that you missed a section of weed whacking, and you have a picture of what? A stray piece of grass? You didn't even have the courtesy of showing the provider the information. So there's no dialogue, just a suspension. Perfect. So I will say that I'm saying all that not because it's so much something that happened to me, because it can happen to anybody. And I think that out of the providers that are out there, I think I've been one of the most vocal. I have about 7 or 8 YouTube videos praising their business practices. I've been featured on a national newscast for Takl. I've been they did a provider profile for Takl. So I think I've been a very strong advocate for this company, but I'm also going to hold their feet to the fire where they need to improve. And we're not even talking about the app improvements that they need to make that I thought were still coming. Like, if I have somebody who has marked me as a favorite, why can't I see that they're a favorite of mine? Like, if I'm looking at a pool of jobs, I should be able to identify that there's a favorite. Why isn't there an earnings button so I can see how much I've made? Why? It's just, you have to, there's steps that I'm seeing. I think they're getting complacent, and there's this rampant growth. And I always hear, we launched in another city, And it's just like, well, you can launch in as many cities as you want, but are you good in them? And that's the thing. Are you good at what you're doing? Because right now, you're burning, you have a huge burn rate, but you haven't even figured, like, there's issues even with your pricing. Because I just noticed they adjust their pricing because they realize that, hey, you know what, these mowing jobs really aren't paying what they should pay. There needs to be an improvement, and I think that right now, Takl's at a crossroads at where they need to make the decision as to whether they're going to do the Uber model and look at their providers as numbers, replaceable, or they're going to say, or they're going to look at, and I hate saying this, but the Lyft model, where they're going to say, you know, our drivers are just a little bit more than that, and we're going to actually work on ways that we can make them better. And that's not even talking about the tipping issue where they limit your tipping, because I said it in a previous video, if you're going to allow tipping, if you're going to limit tipping, you need to limit it based off the job size. Because if I have a customer who I worked with and I did work all day long, then you're telling me that the most that they can tip me is $25, even though the job may be paying $200-$300. It doesn't even make any sense. Like, that's less than the $200 job. The most they can tip me is $25. That's 12.5%. I leave a better tip for my waiter or waitress. So what are we doing here? So let's just hope that enough people, and I'm going to really get this video out there, and let's just hope enough people hold Takl's feet to the fire to encourage their improvement. I don't wish ill for any platform, but I do understand human capital. And if you are marketing human capital, and that's what Takl's doing, Uber is doing, all these companies are doing, is we have the people, then you might want to concern yourself with how you treat the people. To the next one, hopefully it'll be more happy, more good news, but until the next one, peace. Hey, what's up? You just saw that video and you like it and you want to see more information, more in depth, please go to gigessentials.com. That's gigessentials.com, and we'll be hitting you with more content and exclusive content there.